Terry, this is Dennis Clark, the golf instructor from my school, Dennis Clark Golf School. It is 4 p.m. on December 30th, and I believe this was your first lesson with me, and I'm going to review that for you. The way I instruct, I teach in what I call whole part whole teaching, and that means that I like to paint the big picture first, break it down into the individual parts and the individual parts that you need to work on, and then put it back together as a whole. So basically what happens for you is we all swing the golf club up, back down, and then back up, okay? Ideally, we want the nadir, the low point of that arc, to be slightly in front of the ball when the ball's on the ground. Nope. I have my phone on, sorry. Your swing, when you swing down, bottoms out back here. Several inches behind the ball at times. So everything that you're swinging, by the time it gets to the ball, the club reaches low point about here, and then it begins an upward ascent. So if the ball's on a tee or is sitting up over here in the rough, you're going to do okay. Sometimes you'll hit the ball. But when it's down on the ground, you're going to struggle because you don't have what's called in golf a steep enough angle of approach to the ball. Okay, so our goal is to take the bottom of the arc from where it tends to be and move it forward so that you're effectively hitting down on the ball a lot more than you were. Okay, that's the bottom line. When you can learn to hit down a little better, you will be able to play off the turf as well as on the tee. Okay. So why is that? Now we'll go back into the parts. Why is that? Well, when we set up to a golf ball, we have to turn our body, but our center of mass, if we're set up properly, and you are, is directly over the golf ball. The sternum, your chin, directly over the golf ball. Well, as you take the club back, you move that center. The whole center now moves to the right. So already the center of your mass is back here someplace and you're liable to hit behind it. So that's number one, you sway off the ball. Number two is that you throw the club head. It's what's known as an early release. So you can see the club is going to bottom out when the left arm and the club get to be a full extension. You can see how early that is. And I'm going to bring a comparative screen up on the other side for you so that you can see a difference. Okay, so let's say in this picture, your hands are at your left pocket here, or left thigh, okay? Now, as this professional comes down to his left pocket about where you are, the golf club is here and your golf club is here. So naturally it's going to hit back here, especially if you've swayed your weight back there and have not moved your weight forward. Not only is he pulling the handle more over here, pull, 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 turn, pull, turn, pull, turn. He's pulling the handle and he hits well in front of the golf ball. I want you to watch where the ball is sitting, and I want you to watch where his divot is, right about here. And that's what you need to do more of, much more of. Because when the club bottoms out here, the only thing it can do is hit the ground, or it'll miss the ground and it'll still catch everything on the way up. So you get thins and fats from the same problem effectively. So what we're going to try to do is help you get the bottom of your swing forward. Okay? And the first thing we'll do is we're going to move your weight and your hands extra forward. Okay, so under normal circumstances, I would say this is a good setup. But because of your swing issues, I want to get a setup which matches it a little better, complements it a little bit more. And so for you individually, it would be, we're going to put the hands even a little bit more forward, and we're going to put at least 65% of our weight, maybe 70% of our weight on the left side, and get your shoulders very, very level. Don't let this right side get too low at address. So level shoulders, weight and hands in front of the ball. So if I drew a plumb bob down here from you, it would be bottom out right there. Okay. Now, as you go back, I want you to stay on the left side. Okay. Now, there might come a point where this gets overdone and we start getting too steep, and then we can always modify this, but we've just got to get this big move to the right off the ball. So you're going to start on your left and stay on your left, and as you come down, I don't want you to throw the club out wide like that. I want you to just pull the handle in and keep the club a little closer to you. Watch what I mean. Do you see how close the club is to his arm there? Okay, that's what I want you to think more of, like how close this club is to the shirt sleeve here. Now, do you see how far away yours is? Okay, that's what we call casting the club, an early release, throwing the club head. A lot of terms for it, but it means it's getting too wide. So I want you to feel a pull of the handle, not a swing of the head. And last but certainly not least, as you go, we want to turn to the left side. Now, do you see where you finish? Where you finished is fine. All you had to do was get there earlier. You've got to get there at impact. You've got to be turning your hips. This heel has to be off the ground. You got to be turning toward the target as you hit it. You can see why you hooked. You just, the hands just flip right over, and there's no body to support them. See where the club's looking? Naturally, it's going to go left, right? And make sure that that right hand stays on top of the club. Now, as you come down and you're pulling the handle, not throwing the club head, I'd like your hands, at impact, I'd like your hands to pull right past the ball. The next time that we meet, I'm going to show you a good drill in pitching the ball, little 50-yard shots. It's a great place to work with that. It's a great place to feel that. Let me see if I can show you one here. This would be better for a lady golfer. Get the handle moving and pulling so that the shaft looks like this at impact. It doesn't look like this. See, that's throwing the club head past your hands. I want to get into pulling and turning. See how she's already turning, the heel's up, and she finishes right over the lower body. The upper body stacked right over the lower body. See, that's throwing the club head, and it's staying back here with your weight. So I think that ought to give you some nice things to work on. Let's go back here one more time, and we're going to go take a look at something else here. I want you to work on your aim, and you gotta aim more to the left, way over to the left. You're a good 30, 40 yards to the right of your target out here. And that's only natural because most of your left misses with your swing have gone to the left. That's perfectly natural. We all do that. Okay, so you're going to line up here. And put a club down right outside the ball, or even between you and the ball, and point it at your target and stand parallel to it with your feet, your hips, and your shoulders, or even open of it. I wouldn't mind at all seeing you aim a little bit to the left, okay? Now the next thing is we've got to get your path changed, and this is part of the body turn. So you're swinging out this way. You're swinging pretty much the way your body's lined. It's coming from what we call the inside to the outside, and it hits the heel and shanks the ball. I want you to watch where your contact is. Right on the heel. The heel closes the club, and that's why it looks like that when you hit it. Look how that club's looking over here right now. You see it? Okay. That's partly your hands, and it's partly the contact on the heel. That face is so closed that that ball has to shoot some degree of left. Or if you hit it off the heel, it can go out to the right. So we're trying to get you to hit it more in the middle of the club and more down on it. Okay? As you set up to your target, you want to take the club back a little bit straighter, and you want to swing down and left, pull, turn, down to the left. As soon as we get the right out of it, we're going to have a lot of the bottoming out behind it out of it. Guaranteed. All right? Okay, I hope that helps you. Terry, it was very nice meeting you, and good luck with your golf. You know where I am if you want to do it again.